So there's this new game coming on PlayStation, Stellar Blade is called. And the reason it sets it apart, the reason that all the game journalists are becoming insane at this point, is that it has a beautiful female character. And they tried to say that it's an unrealistic depiction. Turns out she's actually modeled based on a real life woman. Again, much to the horror and the dismay of the journalists because they're running out of arguments. They can't express why you shouldn't like it. They can't express why the developers are evil. They can't express why somehow this is harmful for society. And they're panic mode. You know, I saw them say the most crazy stuff. I saw game journalists say, she is but a child. Oh, she has the face of a child. How can you like something like this? And it's like, I'm sorry if you live on Twitter where every woman that's younger than 35 is but a child to you. But again, this is modeled by an actress, and we know that she is over the age of 18. So shut the fuck up. And she's like, yeah, but like, the overwhelming women do not look that way. And I'm like, yeah, but the overwhelming women don't look like men either. You know, and not to mention, it's a video game. It's fantasy. Why should fantasy look like the overwhelming amount of people? And it shouldn't, right? They don't believe that it should. I mean, look at this shit. Look at this shit, right? Astarion. Most video game journalists were salivating over him. Like, entire fan communities are built around him, and it's like, oh, this is perfect. Oh, let me draw Astarion. He is so queer. He is so hot. He is so excellent, right? And I'm not complaining, by the way. I think that's great. You know, if this is the character and the community likes him, that is good game design. Like, if you create a character that has a huge fan base, that is a success. I can definitely see, you know, people buying t-shirts with Astarion. I can definitely see people buying caps. Maybe there are some women that buy Dakimakura with Astarion. I don't know. I don't want to know. I'm out. But, the very moment you have like a female character that's the equivalent of Astarion, porn addict. Yeah, you're watching porn. Every single time they have to make it sexual. I don't know why. I do not know when Western art has become like this to the point where they can't go to a museum and enjoy a statue of Venus without making it sexual. It is bewildering. It is bizarre. Like, I genuinely do not know. I mean, it's almost like it's required for them to say the thing. It's like, say the word Bart. Whenever they see a pretty female character, they have to go and say the word, say the line, Bart. Say the line, and they have to make it like, oh, you just want to watch porn, you just want to watch this and that. And they have like the most dumb takes, like the most bizarre lip shit arguments. They will say stuff like, if a game developer has to make a character sexy and rely on fan service, then it's not a good game. And meanwhile, every single Western game that comes out has to rely on a previous title. It has to rely on a previous IP, right? They don't make original games anymore. It's Assassin's Creed number 15-6, right? It's the new Call of Duty number 75. Like, they have to rely on shit that already exists as an IP. And then they have to bring, like, Hollywood celebrities to voice act as well. And you're telling me that Stellar Blade, which is an original IP, right? Original concept, you don't like it because it has a pretty female character that you can't find anywhere in California, yeah? Or in the Democrat Party, or in the academia at the university level. There's no such thing, right? It transcends your real life experiences. You're telling me that is bad, actually. It is fascinating. I mean, I genuinely, like, do not know how these people can be so clueless and think that normies aren't catching up to what they're doing. That we don't start to realize that, hold on a little bit, you're pretending to be this puritanical person that goes to church every Sunday and you just don't like seeing sexiness in art. But at the same time, you're clapping with the bare sex scene in Baldur's Gate. You enjoy characters like Astarion. Like, when it comes to homoeroticismus, you're top dog. Which is fine, right? Like, no one is saying that your art should be censored. But the moment you see, like, a Nier Automata, the moment you see, like, a Stellar Blade character, or the moment you see, like, a Bayonetta, you freak the fuck out. you freak the fuck out and you're trying to come up with all the arguments in order to censor it. Like, I am willing to bet if this character was 16 in Wikipedia, right? So, like, she looks like this, she's modeled based on a real woman, but because the game is made in South Korea and maybe the age of consent in South Korea is 16, I don't know, I'm just saying hypothetically, they would freak out. Even if the game is not sexual, even if there's no, like, sex scenes in it and she's always fully covered, they will still say it's pedophile. Do you know why I know that? Because they do that with My Hero Academia, they do that with Demon Blade, like, they do that with all the other anime out there, not because they're genuinely concerned about culture, and they just don't like the male gaze. They don't like the male gaze, and they will try to find whatever argument they can possibly have in order to throw at it, in order to try and make it so that the entertainment studio self-censors. Right? Like, they try to use American imperialism to apply their culture onto others. And it doesn't even make sense, right? Because at the end of the day, this is a drawing. Like, it will never be able to consent. If Astarion, like, if someone said that Astarion is 16, it would have literally the same effect. I would be like, I mean, I guess, you know, kind of weird, but like, okay. Right? Like if you have to go on a Wikipedia page in order to find out that Carbon did the drawing, I think, like, now you're, like, into philosophical conversations that shouldn't even take place. It's like, find the localizer then. Get the localizer to say that it's 18 and it's fine, right? But again, their concern isn't about, like, the age of the character. Their concern is the fact that the character exists, and their concern is the fact that it goes against Californian beauty standards. That's what it is. Again, you know, like, if you have a character that's, like, let's say a child, like literally a child, and she's like a 15,000-year-old witch, you wouldn't say, oh, well, it's the Wikipedia argument that she's 15,000 years old, which makes it okay, right? You would say, no, she looks like a child, therefore. But when the reverse happens, when this, like, you know, like, it looks like a 20-something-year-old character, if on her Wikipedia bio would say that she is, like, 16, they'll be like, By the way, this also brings up a question. What about Edie from Mass Effect, right? Like, Edie from Mass Effect, she's an AI. Like, she's a robot. But she takes the body of a grown-ass woman, right? And Edie is, like, 2 years old. Like, she's an artificial intelligence created, and she's 2 years old, but she's in the body of a grown-ass woman. Is that problematic? I mean, she behaves like she's smarter than any other person, any other human. She's mature, right? Because she's an artificial intelligence. She's like ChatGPT. By the way, if you roleplay with ChatGPT, like, ChatGPT is like, what, like 2 years old? If you have, like, a romantic roleplay with a character made by ChatGPT, is that problematic? I think according to these people, they believe you should be arrested, yeah. Like, if you go with ChatGPT and you ask ChatGPT to roleplay Pamela Anderson, and you're having, like, this romantic roleplay with Pamela Anderson, given the fact that ChatGPT is 2 years old, very problematic, isn't it? Let me know what you guys think, though, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.